Two housing markets are emerging in America right now. And if you're buying or selling a home, which market you're in could mean the difference between having negotiating power or having none. Today, I'm going to explain why the resale market and the new construction market are moving in completely different directions and what opportunity that creates for buyers, sellers, and realtors. My name is Mark. Welcome to the Gentleman Broker Mortgage Brief. If you only watched the headlines this week, you might think housing is slowing, and you'd only be half right. Because the reality is, we're really looking at two separate housing markets. On one side is the existing home market. The other is new construction. These two distinct markets are behaving very differently from one another. Let's start with existing homes. Existing home sales declined again in June. Yet, despite slower sales, the median existing home price reached another record high. How's that possible? Even though inventory is still relatively tight, there simply aren't enough homeowners willing to give up the low mortgage rates they locked in over the last several years. So selling their home and trading that for a mortgage in the mid-6 range isn't appealing. Many sellers are reluctant to negotiate, and that slows the entire market down. Fewer homes for sale means prices remain supported. But I'd be remiss if I didn't say that there are some really great opportunities if you know how to find them. The best negotiations aren't about beating the other side. They're about finding a way for both sides to win. And to do that, the buyer needs to tap into what the seller values most. You'd think a full price offer is all they care about, but there's a lot more to it. A lot of these homes have been on the market longer than they hoped. They've had contracts back out, they've received inspection reports and even fixed some of the items, and then on top of that, lowered the price again. And yet, still they sit on the market. Here are some suggestions. Come in at their current asking, but ask for seller credit to buy down your rate. That buy down will save you hundreds of dollars a month over simply lowering the price alone. Offer terms for them to stay in the home an extra 30 days. Have a solid pre-approval letter in hand from a trusted mortgage professional. Work with your realtor to structure terms that strengthen your offer, not just your price. Maybe the seller is relocating for work and needs certainty more than another $5,000. Maybe they've already moved out and just want the home sold finally. Maybe they're buying another house and need a specific closing date. Price is important, but it isn't always the most important thing. These sellers are at a point where they need to sell, but there's still pride involved. Sometimes we forget there's a family on the other side of every home sale. They have goals, stress, deadlines, and emotions just like the buyer does. So when you can understand what matters to them, you can find the point where compassion meets a contract. Hey friends, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. I'd really appreciate the support. Now let's look at builders. Builders don't have the luxury of sitting on a fixed price. They have homes to sell and crews to pay. By the time a new neighborhood opens, the builder has already invested in land, permits, roads, utilities, sidewalks, parks, and other construction items. They have a tremendous commitment to getting those homes finished and sold. So instead of waiting, they're competing aggressively. New home sales increased 1.6% in June. As I mentioned in a previous mortgage brief, Berkshire Hathaway acquired Taylor Morrison earlier this year. Companies like Berkshire don't typically make decisions based on next quarter. They're thinking years down the road. The median price of a newly built home dropped to $398,000, and homes priced under $300,000 made up a larger share of sales than they did just 1 month ago. Builders are adjusting. They're building smaller homes, offering incentives, helping buyers buy down interest rates, paying closing costs. They're throwing in upgrades that buyers might otherwise have paid for themselves. With more than 9 months of inventory, builders are giving buyers choices. So what does this mean if you're buying? Don't assume every seller has the same motivation. Try to find a connection. Find what would make them happy. If you're buying an existing home in a neighborhood with very little inventory, you may have less negotiating power, but a great realtor and loan officer combo can still deliver a sales price and a payment you're happy with. And if you're considering new construction, they will likely have incentives. Ask about rate buydowns. Ask about closing cost assistance. Ask about upgrades. But don't assume that's everything the builder is willing to include. Even if you're planning to use the builder's preferred lender, it can still be of value to have your own mortgage professional review the numbers with you. A second set of eyes can help you understand whether you're truly getting the best overall deal. And for realtors, today's buyers need guidance more than ever. They're comparing resale homes, new construction, builder incentives, financing options, interest rates, and monthly payments all at the same time. That's a lot to navigate. The realtors who understand both markets are going to stand out. Look, a lot of home buyers are burned out on existing homes that have had the fix and flip vibe. They want a more move-in ready experience, and point blank, new builds are looking more and more attractive to buyers. But as we know, home builders are in the business to make a profit. This is where having a loan officer you trust and who understands new builder financing becomes part of your value. Instead of simply showing homes, set them up with your loan officer first. Your mortgage professional can help clients compare the total opportunity. One builder may offer a rate buydown that's worth far more than a $10,000 price reduction. Another may cover closing costs. Another may include thousands of dollars in upgrades. The best deal isn't always the lowest price. It's the lowest cost of ownership. If you're a buyer and you'd like to know what you qualify for, if you want a second look at an existing loan estimate, or have any questions about the home mortgage process, you can reach out to me at thegentlemanbroker.com. With that, I will leave you with this quote by Ronald Reagan. Peace is not the absence of conflict, but the ability to handle conflict by peaceful means. This has been your mortgage brief for the week. For everyone watching, I hope you continue to find opportunities to learn and grow so that you can create better outcomes for yourself and for the people who have trusted you to serve them. My name is Mark, and I am the Gentleman Broker.